Yo, I just noticed the carpet that I put underneath my chair, is always moving. God dang it. I'm just gonna get rid of this carpet. I thought it looked nice, but this carpet can't stay in place. Man, oh man, here we are. Let me throw on some background music. But guys, I hope you guys are had a beautiful weekend. Welcome to Monday. Let's crush this week right now. It is a great day. God bless if you're religious, or if not, just have a great day. And look, man, oh man, Jackson has joined us over here, the man in Florida. What's up?
Yeah, what's good?
Not much. A lot. I don't. You were awake just as early as me. You were awake early this morning. What were you doing up?
Dude, I got it's our last day here. It's super busy. Some shit just came up, so I might not be able to make this whole one, but just
You're
trying to
good. I
get
was gonna.
ahead.
You're good. Damn. So I don't know if you saw Shams Charania has just broke some news. I'm gonna run through it. Kyrie Irving might be leaving the Brooklyn Nets. So as of now, he has till June 29th to accept his player option. But Irving's future conversations about having an extension have gone stagnant between him and the Nets. An impasse currently exists between the two parties, and Kyrie Irving's considering testing the open marketplace. And that means right now the Lakers, the Knicks, and the Clippers are expected to be the top suitors for Kyrie Irving if he decides to head elsewhere.
Let's go. Fuck yeah.
So
Dude, that's
go.
sick.
What do you think? Do you think he stays in Brooklyn? I think he stays in Brooklyn, but do you think he actually leaves?
No, dude, I've been calling the collapse of Brooklyn for like a year now. I mean, that team was not built to win.
Why?
Kyrie is a head case. I do not want Kyrie Irving on my basketball team just because I can't trust him. I used to. I think the only way Kyrie Irving can redeem himself is if he teams back up with LeBron James. But I think Brooklyn is built to fail. I think that Harden thing really hit hard. I know Kyrie and KD wanted to play together, so that's probably what's keeping this marriage alive. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Ben Simmons is, dude. What sucks is I think Ben Simmons used to be he's so cool. And now I just view him as such a loser. But I think he is going to further create a divide because he's a loser. And I would give Brooklyn. I think they're just a ticking time bomb. And as a Houston Rocket fan, as Shades in the chat, I cannot wait personally.
So okay, let me explain each situation. So for the Lakers, the likely path to acquire Irving would have him opting into his current deal to facilitate a trade because the Lakers realistically cannot clear up cap space to sign him themselves. And a sign and trade would trigger the hard cap, thus making acquiring Irving significantly more difficult. If Irving were to opt in, Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka would have to satisfy the collective bargaining agreement salary matching rule, meaning if Irving's $36.6 million was incoming, the Lakers would have to send $29.3 million to $45.8 million to the Nets and or a third team in a legal transaction. Now for the Knicks, who the likely path to acquire Irving depends on what the Nets prioritize. New York is even with the salary cap line for 2022 to 2023. So it could theoretically clear enough space to sign Irving on a max contract if they offload salaries such as Evan Fournier, Al Burks, Nerlens Noel, and Kemba Walker. But the Knicks could also offer some of those or all of those players to the Nets or a third team in a possible signing trade. Finally, the Clippers are the like that. I couldn't speak right there. The Clippers' likely path to get Irving requires him as well to opt in, similar to the Lakers, but instead they have 2 to 3 guys who are making 11 to 17 million dollars in Norman Powell, Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, and Reggie Jackson that they could, have him opt into his deal and send him to the Clippers in exchange for a combination of Jackson, Kennard, Morris, and Powell. So for
Dude,
me, what do you do?
if I'm
I
who?
just, if you're the Nets, which of those three teams do you think the best deal? I think the Clippers.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would say 100% the Clippers. I think Kyrie, the man, I'm surprised the Clippers are in there. Kyrie, I think would only go to LA if he's I think him and LeBron's relationship is repaired. You know how like it's like so like they're so weird, dude. Like both of them in their relationship. Like I think now they're at a point of respect, but I think Kyrie would only go to the Clippers. If it's ego based on LeBron, but at the same time, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard is, those are two dogs. So, but yeah, I think Clippers would make a lot of sense for both sides. I mean, especially the Nets. Kind of sucks when these stars want out and they vocalize they want out.
Exactly, and they could also throw in Terrence Mann or Brandon Boston in that deal as like a young player asset to like sweeten the deal.
Yeah, I think they have to.
Because I think a deal of Norman Powell, Luke Kennard, Reggie Jackson, maybe Terrence Mann and or Brandon Boston for Kyrie Irving, no picks involved. I take that deal. If Kyrie was leaving, if you didn't have a chance of, you take that deal. Now, like you said, the only reason he goes to the Clippers is ego based to give double flip the bird to LeBron and be like, guess what? I'm in town with you. But supposedly, I remember, what was it, a few months ago, they released an article that Irving regretted not speaking to LeBron when he left Cleveland, and he regrets how he handled the whole Cleveland situation. And it seems like what you said, he has made his amends with LeBron James and that they are cool, and that it seems like legitimately Kyrie regrets leaving Cleveland for Boston. And he's aware of that he probably could have had way more success if he had stayed in Cleveland. But yeah, this whole thing is interesting. At the end of the day, Kyrie's going to go where he's most wanted and gets the most money. So I think that's the Nets.
Wow. I mean,
he's going to retire. I feel like in like one day, Kyrie's going to be like in a year or two, or maybe 3-4 years, he's just going to be like still good. And he's just going to be like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the tough part with Kyrie is like, we got shades at Kyrie to the Rockets. I made some Kyrie to the Rocket videos. I don't even want that to happen, dude. I mean, first of all, I love Kyrie. I just think, as you were saying, I mean, he used to be so young and dumb, how he handled the LeBron, Cleveland, and Boston.
Flat Earth.
Well, I actually think he's right on par with.
He says he doesn't believe that anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's came out and he said that was stupid of me to think that. Like, he has came out and like said the flat Earth stuff. He got into the wrong stuff, and that he
I don't think he's that crazy with that statement. I don't really know my stance on Earth or flat. I've never personally seen around Earth, but I don't know how that stuff works, so I don't really care.
The Earth's an egg shape.
Yeah, like I don't really care. I like how he stood for his own. As far as the V word goes, I don't want to get us banned, but like. I mean, he's definitely maturing. He's definitely maturing with age. So maybe whatever team he would go to next. I mean, he balled his ass off this past season when he played. Balled his ass off.
I read the other day that Jod Hollinger of The Athletic, he did his board rating system, which is like this system Jod Hollinger invented to give guys their value. And he's like, even though Kyrie Irving only played X amount of games, his value when he played still made him worth $46 million. Like, he played so good that he's worth $46 million. That's how good he played.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So the whole Kyrie thing is interesting, and we've already like talked about this incredibly for like 9 minutes. So I think the Kyrie fate is going to be something that, if nothing happens during the NBA draft, Kyrie's going to take it to the deadline, which is, we won't find out anything till June 29th.
Right.
Kyrie's the guy who he likes to take his time, do everything on his own agenda, not on anybody else. I mean, this is the guy who, he's probably missed 50 games because of personal reasons throughout his career.
Yeah.
I feel like every season he misses 10 games because personal reasons.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what those personal reasons are. Maybe they're family problems, but it just kind of seems like he always says that when he's just not mentally right to play basketball.
Yeah. If he had that work ethic, like he doesn't want to be, I don't think Kyrie wants to be, maybe he used to. I don't think he wants to be the, best point guard of all time.
Yeah, I feel like he got jaded by the business side of basketball, and that's why he doesn't want to be the greatest anymore. I feel like he feels jaded because the whole Celtics situation, then how the media portrayed him when he got traded from the Cavaliers to the Celtics, but then when he left the Celtics, there was the whole thing. I just think everything. Then Paulo Banchero, we did talk about a Kyrie to the Clippers earlier, discussing how it could be involving Kennard, Jackson, Powell, Morris, Mann, or Boston, a plethora of those players being combined in a deal. But moving on from Kyrie Irving, rival executives expect Hornets restricted free agent Miles Bridges to command a max or a near max contract in July. Sources says there are some hesitancy coming from Charlotte to match a max contract sheet for Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges, of course, got screwed by Ja Morant and didn't win Most Improved Player of the Year when arguably he probably should have. He averaged 20.2 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists a game. And in a league that we saw how Andrew Wiggins changed the course of the playoffs for the Warriors, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown had game-changing impacts on the way to the NBA Finals, Bridges' two-way ability on the wing has become incredibly valued amongst winning teams, and you could see a team like the Pistons or Spurs go after him.
The Pistons and the Spurs.
Salary cap. I think the Spurs. Imagine Keldon Johnson, Miles Bridges, Devin Vassell, DeJounte Murray, and Jokic Poeltl, or whoever they move Jokic Poeltl for. Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
That team would be a top 6 seed in the West. Miles Bridges, Keldon Johnson, and DeJounte Murray would probably be like one of the best transition cores in the league.
Yeah. I don't know. The Spurs are so boring to me.
I love the Spurs.
Who wants to play in San Antonio?
No income tax, bro?
Whataburger as well. I've just never been to San Antonio. My thoughts of Texas before I visited Texas was this ghost land, the wild west, duels going on everywhere. There's no trees, there's no grass. It's completely different. I bet San Antonio is completely different. I think of like the Alamo when I think of San Antonio. So, man, Miles Bridges, I would max Miles Bridges because I think the potential is there crazy. And I kind of really like what Shade's saying right now. This is the problem with sports nowadays. So many players only care about the money. Miles Bridges, the rapper, the joint, the possible J, the CBD smoker, and the double cup.
The purple drink. There's nothing wrong with purple drink. Rondell McClain's career ended because of purple drink. Former NFL player, Alabama linebacker. If you go to his Wikipedia page, it says he got addicted to purple drink in 2016 and has not been able back into the NFL. But you think these guys are sipping or smoking? Like Montrezl Harrell just got arrested for 3 pounds of weed in Kentucky. You really think he was smoking? Dealing 3 pounds? No. Literally, Matt Barnes tweeted, he's like, that's summer smoke. We used to smoke a pound a month, okay? Like you said, continue. I just think Miles Bridges.
Yeah, that's my thinking is Montrezl Harrell, I don't give a fuck. That man isn't even a starter. Yeah, you can go smoke your pound of weed a month in the summer, and you can sit your ass on the bench, and you cannot play defense, and you can enjoy nobody remembering your name in 10 years. My issue, I don't have any issue with weed. My issue with, if I'm the Chicago Bulls, I'm still maxing Miles Bridges. If I'm the Rockets, I'm still maxing Miles Bridges. But if he shows any signs to me, just like Ja Morant, same thing applies to Ja Morant. The thing is, though, I think you're like,
I'm more scared about Ja Morant because his is alcohol. Alcohol's a real problem.
I think weed is just as bad as alcohol, as crazy as it sounds. I think it is extremely I think I think weed is the dream killer. I think it makes you content with exactly where you are. If you do it badly, like
Mhm.
the thing is though, these are professional athletes, so they're in pain. They're still putting in the work. It's not like they have to like do the same shit I have to do on a day to day basis. They could wake up, they could train, they could eat right, spend time with their family, and still like smoke. Like weed definitely depends on the person, and that's why it's like with Trez. I know Matt Barnes is a big weed guy. Like
Kevin Durant,
KD, like these are great
died the
basketball
other month
players.
on TV.
Yeah, these are great basketball players. Miles Bridges, John Morant. So I'm still maxing these guys. I'm still maxing Miles Bridges. I'm just saying, like, it poses something to think about. But
No,
it's interesting.
I agree because like Joe Rogan said it best. Weed does not make people lazy, but weed does make lazy people lazier.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Joe Rogan said it best right there. And I think a great example of that is J.R. Smith. Come on, J.R. Smith was probably baked 99% of his games, and that's that's a known fact. Like if you search up, there's pictures of J.R. Smith smoking blunts with Rihanna.
That's true.
And I think J.R. Smith probably might have been a better basketball player if he wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And this is me again. I'm sitting behind a microphone in my bedroom, and J.R. Smith, again, I don't think weed, like I really don't think if you're a professional athlete, you typically have a better work ethic than normal people.
Yeah.
And so I don't really think weed is a big deal. I do think it could make you, like you said, content where you're at and maybe not want to grow as a basketball player. Maybe that's what happened to J.R. Smith, why he peaked and never got better where he peaked at. And I do think alcohol is more destructive than marijuana. I think, and they don't test for recreational drugs in the NBA. And that's the other thing is like, look, we know Odell Beckham blows lines. Like everyone's seen those pictures. And the thing is there's no problem having your vices if you do them in moderation. Like a lot of NBA players smoke cigars. Why? Because you can smoke a cigar and it won't affect your lungs because you don't swallow cigar smoke. And that's why a lot of people like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, is that, yeah. And Shade Texan, I was actually about to bring this up. Basically, they started not testing for recreational drugs during the bubble. And that was the rumor. They didn't test during the bubble because supposedly everybody was stoned in the bubble. Like everybody was stoned in the bubble. And that's like when weed really got accepted around the NBA because the execs were supposed to just walking around and everybody was baked. And like, so I don't think weed is a problem. Or just again, I don't think vices are a problem as long as you keep them in moderation and they don't, again, it's off season, do what you want. I have seen the concerns like alcohol, like I drink, but I don't drink like I just drink when I go out and stuff. But John Morant, dude, he'll post lives where he's just taking shots of tequila and progressively getting drunker in the lives. Have you seen those lives?
No, is he like at least out and about?
No, he's like in his house, like during the day. Like he's like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, or he'll go like it's shot o'clock somewhere, and it'll be like, you don't know, like it'll be like 2 p.m. Where I'm watching it, and I don't know what time it is where he's at, and he's just boozing like the lights out. And yeah. I know it's off season, but I'm a big pro. Like alcohol does destroy people. Like, and I'm not saying like alcohol's fine, marijuana's fine, all the vices are fine. Like, just make sure you have a test kit, whatever you're doing, so you don't have fentanyl and that shit. But there hasn't been an NBA player that I've really seen post alcohol like John Morant. All he does is post him drinking tequila, like bottles of tequila.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen these videos, but I know like what you're talking about. At home, afternoon, I get it's the off season, but if you're John, like,
I get having a glass. Like Melo drinks wine all the time. Melo,
yeah, everyone, all these dudes are drinking.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with drinking.
You can even drink a freaking 6-pack every night if you really want to. But I don't think. I'm not saying like kind of what you're saying. Like it's not. I'm not pressing the panic button, but I am saying, "What's up, gamer?" I am saying it is like. I mean, that's not good.
Exactly.
Not good. So I do like what you're saying though. everything about the weed thing in comparison to the alcohol. I do. These are professional athletes. They have much better work ethics. I think it's more of kind of your outliers, maybe what I'm thinking of. Like I guess if you're
OJ
I don't
Mayo,
yeah, like maybe he had such raw skill. I
Michael
think
Beasley.
it can. Yeah, I would. I'm actually so curious if you were to ask, like, if these guys were to be on podcasts, as OJ Mayo, Beasley, like even JR, Matt Barnes. Like I know Matt Barnes has his own. I love his podcast. Just Steven Jackson. But like I wonder what their thoughts are on if they didn't smoke, or if they regret smoking, or if it just isn't. If that's never even been. I would imagine most of them don't even.
They probably
think
avoid
about that.
they probably avoid talking about it to a certain extent. Like they'll mention it and everyone talks about it, but it's the same thing with PEDs. People won't talk about that the NFL, NBA players use PEDs because just the idea of PEDs is bad, but what they're doing isn't illegal. They go and it's not even PEDs. They're using. We are normal people. We cannot get access to the supplements that they get. Okay. They probably take supplements. They have training methods and stuff that as normal people making normal money, we don't have the ability or could afford those things. LeBron spends over $1 million on his body. Probably everything he does is legal or in the gray area. So it's not illegal, but it's just stuff that we don't have access to as normal people. And by them having access to all those things, it's why they are performing better, and also genetics plays a part, but like think about they do all these training stuff to recover quicker from injuries that normally would take us months to recover from.
I'm just wondering, like, what if, I wonder if Michael Beasley, whether it's now 10, 15 years from now, is going to bed thinking, damn, dude, what if I just stopped smoking when I played basketball? Or if I just didn't smoke for like 15 years?
Wasn't it also Michael Beasley's other problem was that he always thought he should be like the number one scorer, like Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette's not in the NBA because supposedly every time he came back to the NBA, he wanted the ball 30 times. Like, and people were like, Jimmer, you're not that guy. KJ Martin requests a change.
I'm calling fake news, but Shea doesn't really fake news.
Really?
Kings Hawks have discussed a John Collins trade.
Yeah, Kings Hawks, 4th pick. Right now, it seems like the most likely trade is going to be 7th pick for the 7th pick from the Trailblazers to the Hawks for John Collins.
Well, real quick, that was fake news. But did you see? I saw a proposed trade of Dame, or I saw like it might have been you. It might have been your video saying CJ is trying to recruit Dame.
No, I did not actually make that video. I did not hear that. And
yeah, thoughts?
Dame is one of those guys. I think he's giving the Trailblazers one more year. He's giving Chauncey Billups a full season. I think this past season was supposed to be Damian Lillard's last year, but it kind of got screwed up with the abdominal injury. Mm-hmm. And I think Dame's a good guy. He wants to give the Trailblazers one more opportunity to build a championship roster around him. And I think this is the final year. If nothing happens, then yes. Unless somebody offers them like a ridiculous package where they can't say no.
I'm calling cap to Dame wanting to stay in Portland. I think one day this man is going to wake up and he's going to be like, holy goddamn shit. My best buddy, some of my best buddies are down in New Orleans right now, eating some good gumbo, eating some good food. Zion Williamson, the G, is about to come back. Oh, shit. My birthday's in 1 month. I'm about to be 32.
Did not know that.
I'm about to be 32 years old.
I didn't know that.
Who's on my team? Jusuf Nurkic. Oh, my God. Yay. We can re-sign Jusuf Nurkic, and he can play 27 games. And in those 27 games, he can put up like 12 and 10, and maybe we can win half of them. There's got to be one day this man wakes up and is like, yes, okay, this is cool. But like the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. Go home. Or not go home. Go to your boy. Go to the Pellies.
Okay, so Shade Texan.
Yeah, Shade, who's saying this?
Yeah, can you give us a source? Because
if I get someone like Jake Fisher,
I hate Jake Fisher, dude.
I hit somebody.
I'm done with Jake Fisher. Every time I now report Jake Fisher, fuck Jake Fisher. Dude, Scotty Barnes put that man on blast.
Yeah, Jake Fisher's an idiot. And I just saw there was some guy. Oh, man, there's a shit ton of Rocket. I need to not go on Twitter all day today. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, why am I golfing? But Jake Fisher, dude's an idiot. There was some Rocket. There were like all these Rocket people losing their mind on a Kelly Aiko's nice.
She's legit, The Athletic.
It's a girl?
Yeah.
No way. No.
Sexist much?
No. Kelly Aiko. No.
It's a black guy. It's a black guy. It's a black guy.
Yes. Okay. Thank God.
Dude, I thought this whole time it was a chick. Every time I've read his work, I'm like, oh, Kelly Aiko is a chick. I did not know that. I'm sorry, Kelly Aiko.
Look, I'm a bad fan if he's a chick. Fuck. Yeah. But basically, there are all these people report. I forget what it was. It was something Rocky related, and it was from Jake Fish. I'm like, it was KPJ like getting upset about Jalen being number one. I'm like, oh my God, stop reading. Like there's like all these fucking people in the Rocket sphere. Ugh.
All right, so we're going over here.
I think good. KJ wants out. I think KJ would be nice for him, but I do think that KJ will not get ever a proper role in Houston. And even if he does get a proper role in Houston, I don't think KJ is going to skyrocket to what Houston would want him to skyrocket until he leaves. I don't think it'll happen soon, and I don't think it would happen until he leaves. So I view him almost as a Kyle Kuzma. Get this man somewhere else.
I like the Kyle Kuzma comparison, but also I think Kyle Kuzma is about to break out this year to borderline all-star. He averaged 20 points a game and almost 9 rebounds post all-star.
He was a G. He was on my fantasy team.
All right, so right here it says that they're more likely than not going to draft Paulo Banchero. They haven't even worked out Jabari Smith, and they're still unclear if Holmgren will work out for them. I can't believe, like, I kind of want Holmgren to fall to the Rockets. Imagine Holmgren on the Rockets. Then that way Şengün can also imagine Şengün, Holmgren as the front court. Jalen Green, I guess Kevin Porter Jr. I know Rockets fans are so split, and I'm split on Kevin Porter Jr. Like, what is he? Like, is he gonna be this level-headed guy, or is he gonna be the turnover machine?
I mean, his second half of the season, he was like, 19-6 with 2 turnovers or something like that. So he really cleared. I mean, because he was shooting like 30-something%, 11 points a game, like his first half of the season. He was suffering, but I think more likely than not, the Rockets get Paolo. But at the same time, like, dude, I really don't think it's that crazy that Oklahoma would go with Jaden Ivey. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade down. It's just draft day is going to be nuts. It's crazy that it's literally what is 3? Is it 3 or 4? I'm not great at math, but man, I can't. Draft day is always so special. It's so special.
It is very special. Also, is uzbekiruba already a draft bust?
I would say no, but I think he will be. I mean,
He can't even play because he's so bad offensively.
The issue is he has no offense in the NBA. But for some reason, when he goes down to the G, I'd have to double check his G League stats. But before he got injured around November, he was putting up like just a 15 and 14. Like it was like just simple. And it probably was a little bit. I mean, this is a guy who is coming from Spain. I mean, this is a guy who has played in Spain and made it work in Spain. Obviously, he didn't play much, but I mean, he's young. He's been in the Olympics. You know, he's played. He has that experience. So I think it's more likely than not he'll be a bust. But I think I have a lot of hope that he can figure out to be at least some type of like, not like a Clint Capella, but you know, somebody like just where it's like serviceable. like just a serviceable offensive player. I don't know if he'll, be that guy for Houston, but I mean, I'm definitely not giving up on him. This is just like a lot of these players on this roster, and KJ would be included if he sticks around. This is the year for me. Like, if I'm not seeing it, it's peace out. This is a total evaluation year for me.
Yeah, so with Paulo Banchero coming in, KJ Martin recently approached the Rockets management to discuss the possibility of a trade from the franchise. The nature of the conversation was candid. With the potential moves following Thursday's draft, the sudden reality is that there isn't a clear path for minutes for Martin in the rotation. So, yeah, that makes sense. But he's got a good – I could see him going to the Raptors because of his age, athleticism, and untapped potential. He just screams a Raptors pick. Not pick.
I don't mind that.
Kenyon Martin just screams Raptors. The Raptors would love a guy like Kenyon Martin. Now, as we go on to other news, shout out Shea Texan. Thank you for informing us for that. The Pacers are seriously discussing trades centered around Malcolm Brogdon and Miles Turner, sources says. The Wizards and Knicks are interested in Brogdon and are armed with the number 10 and 11 picks, respectively. The Hornets have expressed interest in Turner, and Indiana, which has the 6th pick in the draft, continues to elect retooling its veteran core rather than rebuilding entirely around young players, contradicting a report earlier in the week saying that they were moving towards a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, this has been like the thing for several years now. I mean,
All George left.
I think it's fake news. I think it's all smoke. I mean, I don't. Oh, dude, thank God I'm not a Pacers fan, man. I'm sorry, Pacers fans. If any Pacers, I don't think it. I actually. What do you think? Do you think anybody who watches this so far is a Pacers fan? Do you think we have a Pacers fan?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't think we have a Pacers. I don't even.
I doubt it.
I don't know if I have a Pacers fan.
Yeah, right. I don't think I know a Pacers fan.
I don't have someone regularly comment on my Pacers videos. Like, I have certain videos like Pistons, Raptors, Hawks, Spurs that I know which guys are going to comment on those videos.
Yeah.
But Pacers, like, they're usually my worst performing videos. I don't really talk about the Pacers, ironically, because it's the basketball capital of America.
Yeah, I was going to say what's funny is one of my Pacers content last offseason just bang, 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 bang. I remember I went live for a Pacers Summer League game. I had like 11K or 12K thousand total views, and I got so many Pacers subs from it. So I'm gonna be doing some Pacers content. But I really hope they don't rebuild. I think last year's draft pick of Duarte being 24 years old, I think. I mean, I would get rid of Brogdon. I would.
But he's not worth a first. Who the hell is offering a first-round pick for Malcolm Brogdon?
Well, that's what I'm saying is I don't even want them to – I just want them to move on from Malcolm Brogdon. I don't even want them to get a first-round draft pick. I want them to get value. So, but that Sabonis trade is total red flag.
The Sabonis trade?
Yeah.
You didn't like it? Tyrese Halliburton, he balled out like 20 points.
No, I mean as far as trying to win now.
Yeah, that kind of screwed them through a wrench. And plus, Miles Turner said he'd rather play out his deal than talk an extension.
Yeah, so I mean that's not looking good. But yeah, Halliburton, phenomenal move. So maybe they do. I think they should pick number 6.
Keegan Murray. Take Keegan Murray. Then you have Duarte, Halliburton, and Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I would just see just see where you can go. See what happens if somebody wants Brogdon. I mean,
do you take Jaden Ivey if he falls to 6?
I would 100,000% take Jaden Ivey if he falls to 6. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see him getting past the Pistons, but
yeah, because the Pistons would hop on that immediately.
Yeah, because they would love the idea of Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham. Because Killian Hayes is a freaking bum.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
You like Killian Hayes?
Boo. My Twitter account's a Killian Hayes stan account. Yeah.
I had no idea you're actually a Killian Hayes stan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not easy tearing hips, is my guess.
Okay, so I know Killian Hayes actually learned how to play basketball during the second half of the NBA season because he and I liked Killian Hayes coming out of In Germany, I loved him. Okay, but Kelly Hayes, his rookie season was horrendous. I think Kelly Hayes' rookie year was almost as bad as Jalen Suggs, but
Tore his hip.
okay, but before the torn hip, even before the All-Star break, those 46 games, this man was shooting 36% from the field, 27% from three. Yes, after the All-Star break, he shot 43% from the field, 24% from three, and was dishing out 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and getting almost 2 steals a game. I'm scared that Kelly Hayes might turn into Frank Ntilikina.
Killian Hayes will be a serviceable point guard. You know who had a bad rookie year, sir?
Jalen Suggs?
A little cat named Kobe Bean Bryant.
Okay, but Kobe was like 17 when he was a rookie. Kelly Hayes had just played professionally and was 19.
Dude, Killian Hayes is super young still. I don't think he's 21 yet. Yeah, he's about to be 20. Wow, his birthday's one day after me.
When's yours?
July 26th.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, I'm a big Killian Hayes. I'm a big career high 26 points this past season. Are you telling me that was random? 26 points. Killian Hayes, bro. This man just needs to stay healthy. Give him one more year. This is what Troy. If I'm Troy Weaver, this is what I'm thinking. All right, Killian. I need something. I don't need you to be an all-star, but I need you to show me something. I need you to stay healthy, and I need you to give me a reason why I need to believe you for one more season. Because if not, you can pack your bags.
I mean,
that's it.
All right.
Is it my turn?
Huh?
Skip Bailey.
Oh, is it my turn?
It's my turn.
All right. Let's go over the mock draft. I did this last episode without you, but I've made some changes. So we're going to just go through the lottery right here.
Oh my God, dude. You got Shaden going 8.
Can you see this fine, or is it like blurry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see 11.
Okay. So, yes, I have Shadon Sharp going 8. So the reason is even though, okay, so today there was by Shams Charania that teams he's worked out with, he has requested to play 3-on-3 and 5-on-5 to show him in competition. So that might bring up his draft stock. But last week, his draft stock was down because more and more execs, this could be smoke screens, but more and more executives were hesitant to draft him because unknown. He went from being barely a top 100 recruit to balling out in the Peach Jam, which is the last competition we saw him, became the number 1 recruit and never saw him play again. So he balled out against 17-year-olds. And one of the reasons he balled out is because he grew from 6'2" or 6'1" to 6'6" in a matter of like a few months.
Yeah.
So that's where people are scared. They're like, is it just because he grew a shit ton and he just was a grown man against boys, or? So that's what go.
I originally was so low on Shaden Sharp. I was like, why is this guy? Why do Rocket fans want to draft Shaden Sharp? I actually kind of like where you have him at. I think it's got a pretty solid chance that it'll be a mistake. Like if he falls to 8, I think you'll have a lot of teams. I think it's a pretty solid chance you have a lot of teams kicking themselves. But I can also it very easily can go the other way. I think he'll be okay. I don't think he'll be, Kobe, Melo, AI, all the other guys out of high school. I don't think it's that crazy to come out of high school, but I think we've talked about this before. I saw this one video of Shadon Sharp 1 month ago where he's playing these small ass white dudes, and he's going half speed, and they pat him Marcus Smart would be on the floor, but then he goes and he does a alley-oop through the legs dunk was like, what the hell? Who gives a shit? But now I'm like, well, it was more of the through the leg slam to showcase what he can do. I don't want him on my basketball team, but I think I'll regret it.
I think his range is 4 to 8. He's going to go. I don't think he goes top 3. I think he goes earliest number 4 to the Kings, and he won't slide past the Pelicans. Now, I know Jeremy Sohan, the 7th pick. Jeremy Sohan, I follow Sam Vecini a lot, so this is Sam Vecini getting in my head and convincing me Jeremy Sohan is the best defender in this class. Plus, this guy plays for the Polish national team. He was born in Oklahoma, grew up in England, has a British accent, played at Baylor. Like, I love this guy. Love this guy. And I think he's the quintessential definition of a 1 through 5. I don't think he'll ever be a shot creator, but I think he could be like a 38% 3-point shooter, 36 maybe. And I think this draft, it becomes interesting at 4. I think we can just ignore the top 3 picks because that's set in stone in my opinion. I think this so. I think the only thing that will happen is Chet Holmgren might not be picked 2nd overall. I think Jabari is a lock to go 1 because the Magic aren't going to try to get Mo Bamba 2.0 and Chet Holmgren. And the only thing I could see the Thunder being like, we rather have Banchero or Ivy. Do you agree with that?
I think though, I'm actually, I don't know why this is. I don't know. I don't have a reasoning, but I don't think Oklahoma City picks Chet. I don't know if they're gonna take Paolo. I don't know if they're gonna take Jaden. I don't know if they're gonna take Shaden. I don't know if they're gonna trade it. I don't think OKC will be drafting Chet Holmgren, and I really hope I am wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
I have them drafting Chet Holmgren right now, but I would not be surprised if they take Apollo Banchero or Jaden Ivey. Because I know they like the idea of Jaden Ivey, Josh Giddey playing small forward, Jaden Ivey playing point guard, and Shea playing shooting guard. Because they would just probably be the fastest team on transition.
Yeah. I mean, Keegan. What if they take Keegan? No, they won't take Keegan.
Keegan's going to go to, I think, either Kings, Pistons, Pacers, or Blazers. Teams that are trying to make the playoffs. He's a playoff guy. He's the Duarte of this draft where Keegan Murray, he's Tobias Harris 2.0. He's going to come in and going to give you an immediate impact.
You want to hear a hot take?
Yeah. I
have at least 2 busts in the top 10 on this list. Johnny Davis to me is a walking bust. Sorry.
Wow.
Benedict Mathurin. Sorry. Cover your ears. Walking bust. And then I have that's like 1A busts. And then my 1B, if I want to get even hotter of takes, then I'm throwing Keegan right on that list. And I'm also throwing cover your ears again. I'm also throwing Jeremy on that list. But I don't think any of the top 10 will actually be bust. I think they'll just not be stars, which
so for me, AJ Griffin could be overreached. He suffered a pretty bad injury in high school, and we haven't seen his athleticism again. And even though he has like almost a 7-foot wingspan, he's pretty horrendous at defense. Malachi Branham, I think he should have stayed another year at Ohio State, similar to what Benedict Mathurin did for Arizona. I like Benedict Mathurin because check this out. Benedict Mathurin played 2 years of college ball, but he's only 1 month older than Chet Holmgren. Also, wow. That's how old Chet Holmgren is. People forget Chet Holmgren's one of the not older players in this draft, but he's not one of the younger prospects. Chet Holmgren's actually the same age of a lot of sophomores in this class. Now, Benedict Mathurin, I like that he's only 19 years old, but he played 2 years of b-ball. Same Jeremy Sohan, I like him. I could see Dyson Daniels being a bust because he grew. I think Dyson Daniels will be a beast as well. I think Malachi Branham and AJ Griffin are my 2 biggest concerns. My one concern with Keegan Murray, which I'll agree with you, is that he could be close to a finished product. He's done developing. So depending if he's a 15 points per game guy day one, I don't think he's a bust. But if he's anything less and he doesn't develop into anything more, then yes, I agree with you on that. That's the concern with him. Now, guys that I think later in the draft, I think Ochai Agbaji. Yes, I go to the University of Kansas. I just think he's Malik Beasley who plays defense.
Okay.
Which is
you
just
don't like Malik Beasley?
I like Malik Beasley, as you know. I'm a Timberwolves fan, but Malik Beasley only shoots 3-pointers. That's the only they can't create for themselves. They're not shot creators. They're not going to do anything except cut to the basket and dunk, or they're going to catch and shoot 3-pointers. Like Malik Beasley was asked for the first half, 2/3 of the season until Chris Finch looked at him and be like, "You're not going to do anything except take 3-pointers." And then for the rest of the season, he would just shoot like 8 to 10 3-pointers a night, no other shots.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so with the next group. Also, the Sixers are trying to trade the 23rd pick in a package for Danny Green, but I have them taking Blake Wesley if they keep him. Who in this bunch do you like that you think is slipping down the draft board that should be looked as higher?
Wait, real quick, just Philly has Danny Green, right? So you're trying to unload him?
Yeah,
okay.
With packaging with the 23rd pick.
I got you. Who do I like in this? I think Jaden Hardy is going to be a G. I think Tari Eason is probably one of the highest potential players in the whole draft. But he does have some, especially that 3-point shot. I forget when that video was, but, I think Jalen Williams.
I love him.
Yeah, he really intrigues me. There's something about that conference for me. I don't know what it is.
Who's in it? Who's in the WCC?
It's like Zaga. It's Pepperdine. It's those Pepperdine. Those squads. There's something about it's just I don't know if it's like West Coast because I wanted to go to Gonzaga. I call it Gonzaga, but I know that's incorrect. I think Jalen Williams, Jalen Duren. I think those Memphis boys scare me, man. Those Memphis boys scare me.
Really? I like Jalen Duren. I think he's a bigger Bam Adebayo.
Okay, that'd be really cool. But, all right, just to finalize, I'm going to go Jalen Williams, Tari Eason, Mark Williams, and Jaden Hardy. But I think Mark Williams probably at the end of my list on that.
I love Mark Williams because he's the second biggest guy to ever show up at the Combine behind Boston Celtics legend Taco Fall.
Hey.
Like, basically every measurement Mark Williams had, if he didn't break the record, the only person in front of him was Taco Falls. And that's pretty freaking crazy that Mark Williams is that big and he moves that fluidly. Yeah. For me, my top two are right here. Ousmane Dieng. Oh, my God. This guy, he finished the NBL season shooting 36% from three, like 15 points a night. He's a secondary ball handler. But I love Jalen Williams. Santa Clara, played both combine games, 6'6", used to be a point guard, had a growth spurt, became a small forward, has a 7-foot wingspan. I love the guys who get the growth spurts like Anthony Davis, that they go from being point guards to forwards because they have the ball handling skills of a guard, but because they grew, they couldn't be a guard. And then behind that, I'm with you, Tari Eason. If that jump shot can be fixed, that man has just as big as hands, quarter inch smaller than Kawhi Leonard. And I kind of have Tari Eason tagged in with EJ Little because he's Paul Millsap 2.0. But then, I think those guys could be steals, those four guys. But I really think these three guards, Ty Washington could be Tyrese Maxey, Jaden Hardy, he could be a guy. But Dalen Terry, point guard, 6'7", can play shooting guard and small forward.
That's what you want.
6'7" point guard. I mean, his floor is Michael Carter-Williams if that jump shot doesn't become consistent, but he has the possibility of being like a bigger Tyrese Halliburton.
Dude, I keep thinking about the rap show, and I'm like, I wish they had some pick around there. I wouldn't be surprised if they move up. They find that guy and they move up.
Right now at 33, McGowan's. He's 6'7". I originally actually had Dalen Terry going to the Raptors, but he supposedly flew up the draft stock, and they said he's going in the first now. It's from
I
sources
remember
are
you having that.
yeah. And then the back end of the draft, nothing special. I think Patrick Baldwin, Kendall Brown, and Walker Kessler could all fall into the second round, as well as Kennedy Chandler. Because Kennedy Chandler is similar to Sharif Cooper. Small, 6-foot guards.
I'm still hopeful for Sharif.
I actually like Sharif.
Tough gig he's got right now.
Yeah, and they really didn't give him a chance to play when they need. I mean, DeLon Wright did good, but I really like Marjan Beauchamp, but Nikola Jovic. I like Nikola Jovic, but I just think he's more Dario Saric.
Oh, okay.
You follow any of these guys in the back end of the draft?
I follow them all. Yeah. No, I really don't. I mean, I'm not a draft guy. I'm not a draft guy one bit. You got me into draft a lot more this year, though.
It's fun. It's fun, and it sets you up for next year because then you'll know everything about the guys.
Yeah.
And I'll send you. Go.
I was just gonna say, I unfortunately have to leave.
Okay, word. Yeah, I'll send you. He hasn't released it yet, but the next day or so, Sam Vecini will release his 500-page draft guide, and I'll send you it. I'll probably spend when it comes out that whole day reading it, but that's just. But yeah,
yeah, dude. Appreciate it.
I will wrap this up, and you have a great day.
You as well, sir.
I'll talk to you later. Peace.
All right. See you.
All right, guys, this is my show now. Hanging in tight. We're about to go wild. I'm just kidding. Now, understand, we're going to go over to some NBA news. All righty. The Timberwolves have discussed deals around veteran centers and mainly around Clint Capella. What do you guys think of that? Clint Capella going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ooh. And now, if you look at Clint Capella makes about $19 million a year. If you look at the Timberwolves salary situation, who could they move? Obviously, we have talked about moving D'Angelo Russell from the organization. We have Pat Bev, who said he wants to play for the Miami Heat. Now, I look at this, and Jaden McDaniels and Jared Vanderbilt are untouchable, but I could see us being willing to move. We also are $3 million under the salary cap. I personally think a deal for Clint Capella would be revolved around Malik Beasley, Jordan McLaughlin, and Jalen Noel, and potentially a first-round pick. Would you guys trade Jalen Noel, who I very much like, Jordan McLaughlin, and Malik Beasley for Clint Capella? You could argue that maybe they just do, Jordan McLaughlin and Naz Reid and Malik Beasley for Clint Capella, and you throw in a first-round pick. It's not a bad deal. And the cool thing is Jordan McLaughlin and Naz Reid have no money guaranteed this coming season. So if they're not waived by July 20th, that does become fully guaranteed. But if they're waived before July 20, it is unguaranteed, and they don't have to pay them anything. I actually do very much like that, and I think that could be a deal that could be interesting. But now the Utah Jazz are said to have scheduled a second round of interviews with almost all of their 15 head coaching candidates in the next step of the process. The 15 head coach candidates are Knicks assistant Johnny Bryant, who maintains a very good relationship with Donovan Mitchell, and it's my guess who will become the head coach of the Utah Jazz because he was formerly an executive there. Current Utah Jazz lead assistant Al Jensen, Raptors assistant, former NBA player Adrian Griffin, father of AJ Griffin, in the draft right now. Celtics assistant coach, former Spurs assistant coach, Wonderkin Will Hardy. Bucks head assistant now, former offensive coordinator, but now lead assistant, replacing Darvin Ham, Charles Lee. Heat's assistant Chris Quinn, former NBA player. Mavericks assistant, lead defensive guy Sean Sweeney. People are a very big fan of him. Another Celtics assistant in Joe Mazzulla. Pistons assistant Jerome Allen. Sixers assistant Sam Cassell, who's been around for a while and a former NBA champion. As well, another NBA champion and G League head coach, Mavericks former stud Jason Terry, former Lakers coach Frank Vogel, and former ex-Trailblazers coach Terry Stotts. Now, if you guys want to know my favorites, for the guys who have not been, I'll put it in two tiers. Guys who've been head coaches, guys who haven't been head coaches, and guys who've been assistants for a while. Young assistants, I'm going to go Johnny Bryant. I'm going to put it in three. Johnny Bryant at 1, Will Hardy at 2, Chris Quinn at 3. Assistants who've been around for a while: Adrian Griffin, Charles Lee, and Sam Cassell. Head coaches: Jason Terry, I know he's a G League coach. Frank Vogel, Terry Stotts. They need a defensive coach. They need a defensive coach, in my opinion. You can't go for another year not having a defensive coach. Just in my opinion, you need to fix that perimeter defense and just don't get an offensive-minded coaches. Your problems aren't on offense. Your problems are on defense. Now, like we said, Auburn's Jabari Smith has worked out with the Magic and Thunder only, and he's not going to go for anybody else. He's the favorite to go number 1. Kentucky's Shadon Sharp is the mystery man of the draft. Sharp is projected a high lottery pick, and sources says he's conducted a strong group of workouts with teams. So I think it definitely will be interesting to see how this all goes. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts right now. And then G League, Michael Foster will end up working out in total for 15 teams. He's 6'10" with a versatile build, and people expecting at the next level he could be a sleeper. He's played 13 games for the Ignite, averaging 15 points a night and 9 rebounds. Alrighty, we're coming up to the last hour. Let me refresh the news, seeing what else is there going on. But besides that, it looks like, yeah, Kings and Hawks have talked about John Collins. Dennis Schroeder liked Houston, but he expects a new home. KJ Martin would welcome a trade out. Rockets likely picking Paolo Banchero. There isn't much to talk about right here. I want to hear your thoughts. Anything you guys want to hear. We're going to go daily, so tomorrow we will be back. And, oh my God, Tomas Donarowski has left Washington for, damn. All right, I got a lot to talk about. I've already uploaded 5 videos on my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen them, you should go check those out. But I want to make this go to an hour. Man, this was, I think, a good episode. We got a lot done. We talked about the Kyrie. We talked about the NBA draft. We talked about the Pacers, the Rockets. We did a lot of draft talk. We did a lot of free agency talk. I think it was a good episode. We got a lot done. And again, tell a friend. And if you enjoyed the show, let's build this up. Hey, we're almost at 200 subscribers on this. My personal YouTube channel is almost at 7,000 subscribers. I know Jackson has multiple channels, one with over 13,000 and a bunch with over thousands of subscribers each. He's a freaking mogul when it comes to YouTube. I have an NFL channel if you haven't checked that out. But basically, we're going to keep growing this. Right now, I mean, I'm arguing with the radio station. But if we can't get on the radio station, well, right now, if we aren't going live at least 1 week on the radio station, plan is they'll rebroadcast our stuff at night, so we will have to be not cussing during when we record these so that they can rebroadcast them during the graveyard shifts for us. If not, I will put this on internet radio, and I think that will be the best thing for us to do is to go on internet radio. But guys, again, see a friend, tell a friend. Okay, T's and P's, thoughts and prayers out to all of you. Thank you for taking your time. Every time I look at the channel, we're growing. And, as a guy going into his senior year of college, I'm right now living on my own for the next 6 weeks. And being able to make videos and create content for you guys is something I love doing. And I'm very thankful for it. It keeps me sane. And it's honestly a hobby, and that I hope to hopefully one day be able to go full time. I do expect still to have a career in journalism, but thank you. I love every single one of you who watch, who subscribe, who takes the time to either watch this NBA show or you watch the NBA show and my YouTube videos, everything. I am forever indebted and grateful for every single one of you, and I know Jackson feels the same way. So I hope you guys do have a blessed week. Kick this week's ass. You are the best version of yourself. You are able to achieve whatever you want. Okay? No one is better than you. Think of the thought. If you can do it, I can do it better. Okay? Anything you can do, I can do better. Okay? Remember that. No, we're all human. We're all the same. If somebody can do it, you can do it too. Don't doubt yourself. Always, always find the motivation to strive to be the best version of yourself. So in the end, you can live your best life, because isn't that why we're here on earth? To be the best version, to have the best life, to do things that we are able to achieve. And yeah, I love y'all. Have a great day, guys. Be safe. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I try my best to respond. And yeah, I don't know if my Instagram's private. Sometimes I make it private, sometimes I don't. I get like I make it private whenever I get like way too many of those spam accounts following me. So then I just turn it private for a little bit, and then I forget to turn it back onto public. So let me know. Have a great day, guys. This is the end of the broadcast. I'm a peace out. Wait, I think we have an outro that I never use. Yeah.